My friends, in the event that you are new to this wonderful card game and you have not yet signed up for a UGN Play account, you can now sign up with my exclusive referral code Alliteration and get yourself 50 bonus loyalty points for free, as well as additional loyalty points for every event that you play in within my referral code period. Why do you need these, you might ask? Well, loyalty points can be used to redeem free promotional cards in the mail, as well as other exclusive items coming in the future. The bonus points from using my code are enough to redeem almost any promo card right off the bat, and having your UGN account is going to allow you to accrue and track more and more as you go through your hero or villain's journey. If free cards and progression all sound super appealing to you, the links for all of this are going to be in the description below. Now, let's get on to the video. Welcome, my friends, to another Alliteration Gaming video, and this time I have got Andrew Roeder, the Sero King himself, out here to dethrone Andrew McNeely, it seems, making one of Sero's only few regional last 6 exam top cut spots in the most recent online event. Andrew, how you doing, man?
Yeah, man, I'm doing great. Excited to be here. Hopefully, share the good word of Sero with a couple of people. Convince some people to play.
Yeah, the Church of Sero. If you guys are familiar in any of the streaming grounds, or the Discord grounds, you probably know this guy here as Wraskly. He's definitely no stranger to the community and no stranger to his love of Sero. And I'm really excited to see him finally showing off some of that love and really putting his name on the map with this most recent top cut spot. And I'm here today with the deck profile of said deck, and I'm super excited to bring this to you guys. So, before we really get into things and how much this guy loves Sero, let's talk about Sero himself. Let's find out what there is to love. This guy right here is a 6 hand size, 27 health character. He's got Order, Void, and Water. For the sake of this profile, we are playing him on the water symbol, and he's got 3 extremely powerful abilities. 2 responses. One of them says, anytime you partially block me, I get to draw 2 cards for free, meaning you just don't get to partially block my attacks.
Correct.
And then a once per game that says, if you do completely block me, I get to peek at your hand and take away any card in it. This can be used aggressively and defensively. And then, of course, the bread and butter of the Sero deck is at any point in time, for free, every attack you get to just change the zone of it. So, tell me what you like about this character so much and why you maybe thought it was a good idea for this event, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah, so, I mean, my favorite thing about him is just the top response. The enhance and the once per game are great, but just saying you have to play my game of either completely blocking me or not blocking me at all is really what drew me to him. Him being a 6 hand size character is okay. I prefer 7 hand size characters overall.
Agreed.
Yeah. 7 hand size is king, but if you're playing against an opponent who is unsure of how to play against Sero, which a lot of people are, they make you an 8 hand size character just by partially blocking you, and that's all you need.
Very true. I feel like Sero is one of those characters that kind of has like a very global effect on the game, right? The second your opponent flips Sero up, you have to know what you're doing, or you very well could just get steamrolled. And even if you do know what you're doing, you have to play the game completely differently than you're normally used to. You have to play the game, like you said, right, on your terms.
Yeah, it's kind of like the All Might or Momo effect. You're not really playing MHA at that point. You're playing Sero's game. And I really just... anytime I sat down across from my opponent and I heard them hitting their keyboard, searching up what Sero did to read it, I felt great.
The second you heard the click clatter, you knew it was going down, bro. Yeah, Sero is a really cool character. I think it's crazy that as one of those, like, I like to call them mini game characters, right? Those characters that the second you see that they're your opponent, you got to start doing everything you do a little bit differently. You know, think like Kurogiri, like Shigaraki. You said too, like Momo and All Might 3. You know, you're playing that mini game with them. The second you have that dominion over a matchup like that, it's really powerful if your rival does not know how to navigate it really well.
Yeah, and just even if you are playing against a knowledgeable opponent, just as enhance to change the zone is super important. Like whenever I played against Daniel Nelson in the top 16, he was playing Void, Eraserhead, all of their important attack cards have the high block. You just make everything high, and he can't threaten to crack back. So like, it's just overall the kit's great. I have nothing bad to say.
Yeah, there's a lot to love when it comes to Hanta Sero, but of course he's only as strong as our deck is going to prop him up to be. So let's move into those attacks and foundations and see what we're working with. Alright, so starting off with our attacks, we of course have
Tape Swing. Yeah, if you think you want to play Sero deck and you don't put Tape Swing in your deck, pick a different character. This card just does everything. 5 difficulty, 2 check, unfortunately, but it earns it. 1 high block, 4 mid, 6. It has a static that says this card can't be completely blocked. Response, every time the zone change, you give it +2 damage, and then you can enhance, discard 1 momentum, change its zone, and you can repeat that as many times as you have momentum. And this is just the MVP of the deck, 100%. It's how you kill people most times, and it itself has a couple hidden keywords. It says either your opponent chooses not to give you 2 cards and they take 10 damage, or, you know, they stuff their card pool, you still dome them for 4 to 6, and then you draw 2 cards. There were a lot of turns where this was my poke, just because I knew either it would go unblocked for 8 damage, or they would block it, I would get my momentum back, and I would draw 2 cards and help my build turn following it. Tape swing is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, being 8 damage or just draw 2 cards all the time, like inconsequentially, it's just amazing.
Next up is our other throw. Tape swing's a pseudo throw, but this is Grasping Tape Toss. It's a 2 mid 5 throw. It's got the stun 1 keyword, which is great. Enhance, if your opponent chooses not to block, you get a target commit a card, which is awesome. And then, yeah, the deadlock, you get to choose which 2 of their foundations you dislike the most, put it on the bottom of their deck. Since I'm playing water, I would sprint into deadlock and I tell my opponent to follow me. And if they choose to, I get to put back their 2 most important cards, like Spooky or any other throw hate, like Wall Clings, things like that. It's just an all-star.
Being able to like open with this in deadlock, put back their onboard answers to tape swing, like Wall Cling and stuff, and then throwing the tape swing is like just so good.
Tongue Whip. This is, if you've ever seen a water deck, you've seen Tongue Whip. 4 low for 4. Enhance, have you stuff your opponent's card pool with the top card of their deck, and then it gets +1 damage for each card in their card pool. Yeah, it's great. It's how you close out a lot of games. If you ever accidentally draw 2 or 3 of these on like turn 2 or 3, your opponent's just dead. So yeah, it's an all-star. It also has a 2 low block. Sometimes you got to block with it, which feels bad, but it's got a totally acceptable low block. Up next is Ice Storm, my personal favorite, besides maybe Tape Swing. It's mainly why I chose water, but 4 difficulty, 3 check, 2 mid, breaker 2 block. 4 low for 4, has powerful, which is awesome. Has that nice little enhance where it can't be blocked by attack cards, and then a very potent deadlock.
That enhance pissed me off.
Yeah. So many people hate to see it. Yeah, it's been said so many times, but Ice Storm just kills people. Sometimes, you know, you're just looking at your opponent, you saw them build 4, they have 2 cards in hand, you're like, oh yeah, you got 2 attacks in your hand? Well, we're going to game 2 because I played an Ice Storm. Ice Storm is one of the very few cards I would never mulligan. If I ever have 1 Ice Storm in my opening hand, I always kept it. It just means I get to survive past turn 2 against an aggressive deck.
Yeah, just being able to like stop their poke clean with an Ice Storm and then tell them their build is harder from here on.
And then up next is Frigid Heat Wave. This is obviously why I play the range package in water. It's a 5 difficulty, 3 check, 2 low block, 5 high for 4. It's got the range keyword. Enhance, if there are 6 or more range in your discard, you get a draw 2, which is great. And then you get a enhance mill the top 3. If you hit some ranged attacks, you get some bonus damage. Sometimes I'd start with a tape swing, draw this off my 2, and then I would just end up as like a 9-hander.
Yeah, hey, you don't want to let me be an 8-hand size character? Fine, I'll do it myself.
Sometimes you just have to make yourself draw cards.
Sometimes you gotta be your own 8-hand size character. You can't let them decide.
And then the last attack is a giant ice wall. I'm so on the attack. I mean, it's an all-star. Most water decks play it for a reason. So 5 difficulty, 3 check, 3 low for 5, +2 high block with breaker 1. It's got stun 2, and then enhance, discard a momentum, and then your next range gets stun 2. The only reason I'm so on this is just because of how momentum hungry the deck already is through Tape Swing and Ice Storm. You already have super good outlets for momentum. It always feels bad to hold momentum to set up a big ice wall turn, but yeah, sometimes this is just a really good lead, and sometimes all you need is stun 2.
Off zone block with breaker is like really nice as well.
My least favorite part of this is the attack itself, but everything else around it is great. Yeah.
Hey you like the My Hero Academia collectible card game, right? If the answer is at least a resounding probably, you should head right on over to unfunstuff.com for all of your MHA CCG purchasing needs. We've got the new set Heroes Clash on pre-order, as well as the new DLC 2 in stock. And if you want to use coupon code Wealthy Aspirations, you can get 5% off your entire freaking order and also support old Levi a little bit along the way. The link for all this is going to be right down in the description below, so get on over there and go get yourself some amazing product from some amazing people. Back to the video. So let's get right into those foundations.
So we're going to start with the big boys. The first one is Sticky Balls at a 2 of. It's a 3 difficulty, 5 check, 2 min block. It's unique. You can flip it to stuff their card pool by having them add the top card of their discard to their card pool, and then you can commit it to give a non-ranged attack -4 speed. It's a staple in all of its symbols for a reason. Stuffing their card pool on kill turns or defensively is great. It combos really well with these nice little tongue whip cards and a few others that you'll see in the foundation lineup. Yeah, it feels wrong playing any water deck without at least 2 copies of Sticky Balls.
Yeah, card's just really good. If you're not against a ranged deck, it can just sit there and be the biggest -4 speed every turn, and then whenever you feel like killing them, you can just go in with it.
Yep. Up next will be 2 Defrosting.
This card's so good in Sero.
This card is busted in our character. Yeah, 3 difficulty, 5 check, 2 mid block. And then once per turn, you get to mill the top card of your deck and choose a couple fun options. You can give an attack +2 speed, -1 damage, or the inverse of -1 speed, +2 damage. Yeah, it pairs well with every attack in our deck. There were a few instances where I think my tape swing was like -8 speed, but it was like for 20 damage. You can make it as slow as you can. I don't care.
Yeah, this is just one of those cards that really pushes tape swing over the edge. So many powerful applications with it.
Yeah, just a generically overall a great card. It's really good on defense too. There were a couple times where, I don't care about their speed, I don't care about their damage. So. And our last big foundation in the 3 slot will be Rescue Completed. 3 difficulty, 5 check, 2 low block. You can enhance Destroy it to re-ready 2 face down foundations. That's a niche part of the card. The big one is the second enhance. You can commit any of your foundations, give an attack +1 speed or -2 speed. This card is crazy. This turns all of our bad spams into I get to block any card I choose. There's a few cases where deep into a string, you're playing water, you've blocked 8 attacks. You got to blow this up to re-ready 2 foundations so you don't fail your last check.
Yeah, it's a nice last minute extender, but for the most part just sits there, and again it's just like one of the best speed control options in the game for free.
Right.
For free. Just sits there all day for free and does that. We got a lot of 3 diffs in our foundation lineup, in tandem with our 2 checks. It's a little scary. Do you always build accordingly with the 2 checks in mind, or you just kind of Hail Mary it sometimes?
Almost always, yeah. Well, as we get deeper in the foundations, you'll see there's also a decent amount of 4 checks as well. This is a deck where you gotta either respect the checks or pretend like you're gonna check all 5s, and there's no in between. It really depended on what my hand would look like. If I could only build 1 guaranteed, I would not respect the 2 check at all. But if I could get 2 and I was playing against a slower character, I would respect it. But if I was playing against an aggro 6-hander, or aggro 7-hander, I just don't respect it.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, that's just one of the water issues is our 3 diffs are just too good. So if we have to play 2s, we just have to accept that.
Right. Yeah. You live with it. Yeah. But going on to the other foundations, starting off will be 3 copies of Wall Playing.
The card we hate to see.
Yeah. It is. I love it whenever it's on my side of the board, not so much on the other. Yeah, it's a 2 difficulty, 4 check, 3 high block, and never block with this card. Enhance flip. If this attack is blocked, it deals no damage. Yeah, it's a staple in any of these symbols. It's a super good omni block card. You just never want to see it if you're playing a tape swing. And yeah, it's one of the reasons you play water.
Especially in tandem with being able to flip anything and then breaker 2 block it and take no damage is just so strong.
Right, and it's you'll actually see I played no face shields in the main board, and it's because I prefer the interaction of Ice Storm and Wall Playing. Up next is 3 Irrefutable Force of Natures. Maybe my MVP for foundations. This card just does everything. Yeah. There is a whole bunch of Earth, Fire, and Water foundations in the meta right now.
We just talked about one that we hate seeing. So
if there were so many times where my opponent would play a Walkling, and I would just say, all right, I'm just going to play build pass until I get 1 or 2 irrefutables out on the field, and then we can go back to playing the game.
I will hold every tape swing in my hand until I can turn that stupid thing
100%.
off.
Yeah. Up next is Sero's namesake, his foundation of Think Fast. Enhance, you can commit a foundation to change the zone of your attack. Or you can just enhance, if the zone of this attack has been changed, give it +1/+1 for free.
So it just says +1/+1 on our character.
Correct.
Full
Yeah,
free.
yeah. The top enhance definitely has some uses, but it just says enhance. If you're playing Sero, all your attacks get +1/+1. Up next will be First Villain Encounters, Busted Water Foundation.
This cartoon does.
Yeah. 2 difficulty, 5 check, 2 high block. Enhance, you can commit it. This attack gets +1/+1, and then your next ranged gets -1 difficulty, and then the deadlock enhance is really what you're looking for here. You can flip it, and then you force your opponent to take 2 of their nice foundations and stuff them into their card pool.
It's just crazy. This is just one of those deadlocks that you have to respect so hardcore.
Yeah, there are a few deadlocks in here. I mean, like, Grasping Tape Toss you got to respect a little bit. Ice Storm you can kind of disrespect if you're playing a really defensive deck. It is definitely just a deadlock you have to respect. Like, again, in top 16 against Eraserhead, the first 2 games, I believe, he had no issues building it a deadlock because he didn't see me build first villain encounters in time.
And then you whipped this bad boy out, and you said, "Sit down, Daniel."
And then I went first, built it on like turn 2, and then he just stood at 9 foundations, and I blew right past him. So yeah, it is a card you have to respect, or you lose. You either have to answer it or you lose. Up next is 2 Creepy Realizations.
Only 2.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Honestly, I put them in my deck for this tournament. I was not playing any beforehand. There's already so many 4 checks in the deck. I've been back and forth on this card, but it has its uses. It's a 2 difficulty 4 check, 3 mid block. You can commit it as an enhance, and this attack gets +1 or -1 damage for each card in your rival's card pool. So I don't use this offensively at all. I think it's okay. It can definitely help your tongue whips get there. But this is a super good defensive card against string decks, like Tokoyami, All Might 3. This is really why I put it in. I thought I would be playing against a lot of string decks, and I just needed a little bit more. Against Jiro as well, 4th Kind, I played against one of those. It's really good against that guy.
Yeah, I mean, Creepy is just kind of one of those power cards that's like, yeah, it's definitely, like, undoubtedly super powerful. But if it doesn't, like, synergize with my deck in any hardcore way, like, you can justify not playing it. But I like to see that you put in at least 2 copies for this tournament. I think at least 2 is a really good place to be at.
Yeah, whenever I first had this deck, many months ago, whenever I first found Sero, I think I had 3, if not 4 copies of Creepy in there, and I've been back and forth. Like I said, the last 2 events I didn't play any, but I think now is right for some Creepy Realization. And then the last 2 of here will be 2 Frozen. This is just a Water All-Star again. This is how you stay out of deadlock against a all character with a quick create out on board, or this is just how you can close the games out against other characters who sprinted into deadlock with you. You start with the giant ice wall, you pop Frozen a couple times, and suddenly they only have like 2 ready foundations.
Yeah, it definitely turns it turns the tides really quickly. If you're having to kind of set yourself up to build into like a really critical mass game state, you don't want to really start your kill turns, whether you're going into them with a committed or ready board. You don't really want to start your turn without one of these ready to just take it to the races.
On my last 2 difficulty, right? Self-Assured, which if I wasn't playing Creepies, I would be playing more than one of these. It does double work in Sero and your tape swings, but also it's just a super good defensive card. You get a say, I get a perfect blocked 1 attack this turn, and with the Rise of Void discard, it's super nice being able to pop this in a ranged deck to draw 2 or 3 cards a turn.
Yeah, it's kind of like a wall cling that sticks around that also has some nice aggressive applications within our own character.
I play 4 tape.
You have to.
Yeah. It has my face on it. I gotta play 4. Yeah, it's a 1 difficulty 5 check, 3 mid block. You can flip it to change the zone of this attack to mid, or you can flip to give a mid attack -2 speed. There isn't much else to say about tape. We also, whenever we get there, we play a couple plus ultras, and you love to block their Recipro Burst or whatever on a mid with a plus ultra. Up next is 3 Ice Glidings. It's really good offensively, it's super good defensively, and it's a stellar spam.
Yeah, again, just some really, really nice speed control. You know, you have a couple of these, you got a rescue completed out, and your opponent really has to think twice until they can send like 5, 6 moves at you.
Up next, 3 struggling with studies.
In a very similar vein, huh?
Yeah. It's a 1 difficulty 5 check, 3 low block. You can enhance, flip it. This is your rival's 3rd or greater attack, you get to take 1 card from your card pool, put it back into your hand, and then there's also a response. What does the responseless card even say? Before one of your foundations would be flipped by your rival, you can choose to flip this one instead. Protects your really nice, unique think fast against things like apathetic, but really the enhance is really what you'll see. This just lets you block 4, 5 attacks in a turn in water. It's stellar. If you ever played the same Ice Storm as a breaker 2 twice in a turn, feels great. I would recommend it.
Yeah, that's Cloud 9 right there. If you get an Ice Storm block in your card pool, they are just not allowed to put that 3rd attack on their board.
Yeah, this also has a hidden text of, do I want to attack my opponent 3 times this turn and let them pick up their best attack? Because Tape Swing has a +1 high block. There's a lot of good high attacks. If I ever blocked with this, I was pretty
I ain't trying to give you that back.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody would ever attack me the 3rd time. And then a singular observant student as a 1 of. It's a 1 difficulty 5 check, 1 low block. You can commit it to rescue completed for -2 speed. But yeah, this just really, it rounded out my spams. It's a good +1 low block. And then on to the 0 diff. So up first is 4 gotchas. 0 diff, super good spam. It's good low block. But also with things like rescue completed, again, it's -3 speed on any attack. Not really good stun hate, but it
is agreeable stun hate.
Yeah.
It is a decent amount of stun protection.
My favorite 0 diff, actually, 4 desperate times.
This card pissed me off.
Yeah.
I love drawing cards.
0 difficulty 5 check, 3 high block, response flip. After your rival draws any number of cards during the combat phase, they commit 1 foundation. Rounding out the foundations, I have 3 surviving the finals. 0 diff 5 check, 3 high block, enhance once per turn. This attack gets -1 speed. Just another spam. Nothing bad to say about this card. You can give an attack -1 speed and then commit it to rescue completed for -3. So all your spams are cracked. The last card in our main deck is 3 plus ultras.
3 of these bad boys, because it's busted with Tape Swing.
It is busted with Tape Swing, and I also dislike Recipro Burst decks.
True, that piss me off.
Exactly, yeah. It's a super stellar block, especially with all our Omni blocks, but also it just makes your Tape Swings hit for 12 to start with. And if you ever have more momentum, they're probably dead on that turn.
And so that's the entire main deck. You want to go over our sideboard next?
Oh yeah,
Let's
the
freaking
sideboard
do it.
is spicy.
The All-Star.
Is this what you want to start with? Sure.
Absolutely, bro.
We play 1 character in our sideboard, and it is Mino 1, and it's not even because I'm here talking to Levi.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Oi.
She's stellar. She exists in the sideboard for the worst matchup for Sero, and that is Eraserhead.
I was gonna say, this character is really, really cool. There's no doubt about it. But what is the purpose of getting off of the king? Why do we get off the king?
Yeah.
To get on the queen?
I think Sero has some good matchups against every character in the format except for Eraserhead, who just makes you a generic 6-hander with no abilities playing a water deck, and like that's just not where I wanted to be at all.
It's not great. If you slam a Tape Swing down, you are getting erased, and then it's just a bad time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mina just kind of does like the double duty, right? She's like, we want to get off Sero to be against Eraser, and then we get to get on something that Eraser does nothing against.
Exactly. Up next is 3 Searing Glacial Storms.
Oh, mama.
A couple more bad checks in our deck, but it's a 5 difficulty 2 check, +1 mid block, 2 high, 6. It has the nice order first enhance, where both players remove foundations until they're at 5, and then you stop the enhance step. This is really good against any go wide deck you don't want to play against, like Kirishima, Momo. It really was in my sideboard for whenever people were trying to be spicy with Cementos. This hoses Cementos. But yeah, it still has really good legs. There's a bunch of characters who want to build, past 10. Like I said, really against all characters was where I'd play it, because it's really hard to match all characters with Quick Create and Deadlock. So just setting his post back to 5 is kind of where I want to be.
Especially in the sideboard, right? You let them build to crazy numbers in like games 1 and 2. You bring this in at the end of it, and then suddenly like they go from, they're 18 to 5 because they just didn't know that this card was going to be in your deck.
And then a singular 1 of Creeping Vine Eruption. 5 difficulty 3 check, +3 high block throw to low 5. If this attack deals less than 5 damage, you get to go look through your discard and get a face shield back. This is in the sideboard because all 4 of my face shields are also in the sideboard.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, it's just if I'm in a matchup where I want to bring in all those face shields, I want to see them, and it's another throw.
Yeah, nice to have a little more throw in there as well, in case you're just against those decks that like can't really handle them.
Right. And the aforementioned face shields, 4 of.
This card's stupid.
Yep. Busted card. Some people are gonna hate me for playing it in the sideboard, but yeah, I mean it's a super powerful Omni block. It's what scared all the Ochako ones off at the start of set 2.
Yep. That's why I don't play that character anymore.
Yeah. It's super good, but like I was talking about earlier, we already run so many 4 checks in the main board. I ended up just settling with Walklings in the main with face shields in the side. I'd rather build and get on board than hold face shields in my hand.
I can understand that, especially in decks where like we also play things like plus ultras and the ice storms. Like we have really good interactions with that combo regardless. So if we really want because like the added things that face shield gives us like stopping combos and stopping Ochako, stuff like that. So those more fringe interactions, that's when we can bring those into the sideboard.
Right. The last card on my sideboard was a singleton, the 4th copy of Irrefutable Force of Nature. Like I talked about earlier, yeah, I super love this card. It's a big reason I play Water again. It does everything. It steals all the cards I don't want to sit across from. Honestly, for me, it steals a lot of releases.
That's the whole sideboard, and that's the whole main deck. And I mean, obviously, you did really well. It was a very, very fantastic run. Is there anything you think you would have changed? Anything you feel like you didn't play as well as you could? Or just any decisions you make that feel like they could have taken you higher?
Shout out to Gavin, my top 8 opponent playing Life Abara. He destroyed me. I disrespected that deck straight up. I did not respect it. I shouldn't have because he got into top 8 with me. But yeah, turn 2, both the games, he went first. Yeah, he just strung out like 4 attacks on me turn 2, and I just was not respecting it. I just want to give a shout out to all the people I played against. Yeah, especially my top 16, top 8 round opponents. They were stellar, super fun games. I did not expect to get out from underneath Daniel Nelson's foot.
Only to fall under Ibarra's mind.
Oh yeah, and I was super happy with the run overall. I've played it a lot, and yeah, it just felt great. Had some good games.
Yeah, I mean, as one of my longtime local buddies, man, it's really awesome to see you up there in the ranks now and to get to bring you on here and showcase some cool stuff. And of course, again, a really big congratulations to you and to the run and to many, many more things to come. Yeah, there's going to be some very cool things with this character going on in set 3. Are we going to see some void discard out of you, Andrew?
100%.
Oh, yeah.
I actually think out of set 3, Water Sero gets the least, which hurts me because I'm super partial to Water. Mm-hmm. I think that with Void, you get to turn your once per game into a twice per turn between Villainous Waylay and Blood Moon Rending, which is insane.
That's gonna be really fun. I'm excited to see what you do with this guy in set 3.
Yeah, I will still be grinding this deck into the ground, trying to figure out what to do with it.
All right, guys. Well, there you have it from Andrew, the Sero King himself. A big congrats to him for this awesome top run in this regional last 6 exam tournament. And the big thank you, guys, if you made it all the way to the end of this video. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you liked what you see, please give me some feedback down below in the comments section. Drop a like, and if you want to see even more, subscribe, because we put out so much MHA CCG content on this channel. That's all the time I've got for today. Thanks for watching as always, and we will see you guys in the next video.